What's up, guys? Llama5 here, also known as Joker. Sorry if I sound tired throughout this review. I just had a very on and off day in that a lot of good things happened, but quite a few bad things happened, and as you can tell from my OC's expression in the title card, this is one of the bad things today. It's a shame it's having such a good time compared to yesterday, but... So, before we get started, as usual, I like to say if you haven't seen the episode, then obviously please don't watch this, watch the actual episode, spoilers, and secondly, I don't like to use clips from the actual episode or thing that I'm reviewing because I find them distracting, and I find them... Can't remember the other thing, I am that over it by now, but I have a lovely drinking game awaiting me. So, without further ado, let's get to it! So... Gloom and Gloom. Yeah, I'm not gonna give... Actually, have I given an actual plot synopsis yet? No, because obviously this is by people who have actually seen the episode, so I don't need to give a plot synopsis. So, first off, I want to say that... Really, they could have shown that Babs getting her actual cutie mark. And obviously I'm going to talk about Babs quite a bit, especially in the final thoughts of this review about Babs, because... Obviously, I really wish they could have based the episode around here, because I heard a lot before that. I heard about people saying, oh, you know, most of Season 5 is going to be, focusing on other characters. It's going to focus on Princess Celestia. It's going to focus on Vinyl Scratch. It's going to focus on Shirley. And I'm like, oh, that's so good, yes! Because I'm tired of seeing the same freaking characters go for the same things over and over again, and this is one of those times. Why do I get the feeling that there's going to be another Fluttershy Shy episode in Season 5? Couldn't get any worse than this, though, believe me. But... yeah, when they just say, Babs got her cutie mark. They don't even show, like, you know, like a white sequence, so there's white glow around it that shows Babs getting it, like, maybe with her voiceover, like, you won't believe what blah, 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 blah. Oh, no. I'll let you do my Joey Wheeler. You won't believe what I got, Serenity. I got my cutie mark, finally. Yeah. Joey Wheeler is, So, yeah, show, don't tell. Don't be... What's that guy's name? Doesn't matter. Just show, don't tell. Don't need to use someone for reference for a bad message. Just show, don't tell. But again, a little nitpick compared to the bigger problems in this episode, which we're getting close. Yeah, we've only just started. Yeah, I ramble a lot in these reviews. Yay me, I'm so clever. But yeah, they already established the special talents that... Oh yeah, they were... Yeah, sorry, my writing's a little small here. In case you didn't know, I write notes. I only got 1.5 pages, but yeah, they're already established, you know, before to the cutie marker series that your cutie marker, your special talents are ones that, things that you enjoy and all that, so, why is it really about, like, imagine if you were stuck with one that you didn't like, I don't know why this is why I hate the Crusaders so much, just because it feels like well, actually, I don't hate them, it's just I feel sorry for them. It feels like they're eventually, I can imagine like one episode where it's like, or even when the camera's on or something, they're like, I think now I know what to do, and then Megan McCarthy just comes over about and just goes, no, you will forget that! I just probably create a very bad image for any younger viewers watching, but I'm so sorry that's how I feel about this. Just because it feels like they're just, well, yeah, beating a dead horse. Did you know the cutie mark Crusaders don't have the cutie marks yet? Well, too bad, because they never will, which is really sad. Especially when they tease it so much in this episode, and I'll get to that soon. Oh, and apparently they insulted Babs' cutie mark. Oh yeah, they did when they were like... But yeah, you had to cut hair day? This is other people that have actual taste. We probably learned this as well, yeah? I'm pretty sure they did, didn't they? There's been enough Cutie Mark Crusader episodes that I'm sure that they learned every single lesson everyone else has learned so far 10 times over. And is the Apple family cursed just because... doesn't really bring up, but she's like, it has to be an apple because you're part of the Apple family. Like, Applejack's cutie mark was that she wanted to be with her family again, wanted to take care of the farm. Is Big Mac's the same? Like, he wants to be a farmer all his life? Do apples represent farming now? Like, it doesn't have to be like it isn't a tro, it's not that. So, is the Apple family cursed to always have an apple in their cutie mark no matter what? Them designs, yo. Don't match that story, yo. I still love them. Just a little side joke, and someone messaged me, but I'll get back to them soon. Yeah, Applejack kind of did a half effort on reassuring Apple Bloom, you know, even with that stupid song that took about, what, 5 minutes to write, it's just like, hush now, quiet now, I have an accent, cutie marks and that. I mean, because I remember Apple Bloom, saying that she feels like she'd have to leave her family, because when that'll happen, when you have fears like that, and especially someone as young as Apple Bloom, you have to be really reassuring, like sit down and talk to them, like, ooh, have a long talk, but nope. Instead, we had to put the entire focus on the quote-unquote nightmares. Here we go, yeah. So first off, I want to say that it was so incredibly friggin' obvious that there was a dream and nightmare right from the get-go when her cutie mark did appear. I mean, for one, they didn't draw it out, they obviously, each Apple Bloom didn't go, I know my special talent is like everyone else, like she's doing something and then she gets it. No, so it's completely obvious. So, why make it a nightmare in the first place? It's just... Also, doesn't this feel like the Cutie Pox episode? I don't know. So, it's like... I was about to ruin my other notes then, that's why I stopped myself. Talking about Scootaloo, but we'll get to her soon because better episode about nightmares. But yeah, in dream episodes, in general, because that's what I let us talk about. In dream episodes, you have to make it extreme on visuals, or ever an extreme on certain points. And so, like again, the Scootaloo episode, extreme on the well, not extreme, but I like to take for example Avatar. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Aang, the entire episode was filled with nightmares and about trying to confront something or the future. Yeah, the same thing. Apple Bloom, whether we wanted to admit it or not, her nightmares are about the future, like what will happen if this, and the same with Avatar, what will happen when I face the Fire Lord. And they did that so much better. It's more showing that like what exactly the character is fearing and the level of fear itself. You don't have to make all these stupid plot lines insulting. Ugh. Almost ruined my little surprise. Oh, I'm glad to check this message really quickly. And that was just my co-writer saying something. Let me just put myself into serve. I'm gonna love Avatar's episode when it comes to nightmares. Just because, again, they don't, try to trick you like, oh, this wasn't actually real. No, the Fire Lord is giant, like, and Aang's like, I forgot my pants, what? That's what you do. You have to show, that's what you use it for. You don't use it to try and trick the audience into thinking it's Groundhog Day .2. Clearly they want you to think it's real. Why? Because of the slow pace and the realisms that's within the actual thing going on. I mean, why do you think she wakes up again and it's like, you got another cutie mark, I mean, why do you think it works with Aang? Like, both the characters in these nightmare scenes both think what they see is going on around them, even though to us it's obvious in the wrong way. But, because that's what it's like. Whenever you're having a nightmare, it is completely obvious, like, what's going on if someone was looking in you for an hour, like, from a window, like, seeing what's going on in your nightmare. But obviously, you're trapped, you're like half asleep, half conscious, or even quarter conscious, in your subconscious, having this dream, having this nightmare. So obviously, you believe anything that's going on, so you don't need to make it that believable. You could have Applejack, look like an actual horse. You could have done, I don't know, Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo become guys. You can have anything going on. That's why you do a nightmare episode. That's why you do stuff like that, by not Tommy. That's the whole point, I think, in general, to have a nightmare or dream episode. One, to create some really stunning visuals, to really exaggerate a character's feelings on a certain matter, and to just, well, a lot of things, a lot of potential, because, like I said, anything could happen in a dream or in a nightmare. But here, they just play it so freaking safe, and yet, why? Oh, I know why, because the animators are lazy, apparently. Or the writers were lazy, or both were lazy. And that's why Daniel Ingram decided to feel lazy and write Apple... Actually, I'm putting Applejack didn't... the song Applejack sings Daniel Ingram didn't even touch, I'm sure of that. Oh god, we're already 9 minutes in, yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about, just because I'm that mad at this episode. Put it this way, before I continue, I want to give a big example of the realism, because I mentioned that, I didn't mention the actual realisms that I'm talking about. Because one of the big one is that Apple Bloom doesn't notice that the jar that she threw smashed. And yet, it actually lets the bugs out. I'm not going to say what they are, I'll get to that. But, their names and the thing. Yeah, the bugs get out, but she didn't see that get smashed, and she didn't notice it, hence why she ran away. That's, because remember, it's her subconscious. If she doesn't see it happen, then obviously it doesn't affect her in any way. It doesn't affect this subconscious within her mind, so I thought that... It's like they actually were attempting to write an actual episode, or have a realistic episode, and then they just said that second, you know what? Scootaloo did good in her dreams. Let's have Apple go to her dreams. No, you don't have to do that, please. Please. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna say right now that of all the episodes I've hated so far in Princip's Magic, there's only been really two. One of them was Philly Vanilli, and I just hated that just because of the fact it was another Fluttershy Shy episode, and I was like so tired of it. But here's the first time I've actually hated more than just the actual premise. I mean, at least in Philly Vanilli, I just did pull it off, but here, and at least no other Friendship's Magic episode made me cringe and hate and just feel so negative so much that I had to stop the episode and just go lie down or go bang my head against the wall. I've never had an episode like that, except today, when I watched Bloom and Gloom. And yeah, that's why I spent hours and hours trying to recuperate myself and get into a tired mood so I wouldn't get too upset. Don't let your emotions get the better of you. Be a Jedi. Okay, moving back to the notes. Gonna say straight out here. Oh yeah, here we go. Probably one of the things I hate most about this, including the fact of how they mess up the nightmares, is this episode insults a lot of professions. Like the janitor when Sweetie Belle is about to do a thing and she sings and then, nope, you're a janitor now. It's like, I understand that it's meant to be from their point of view, like these little girls' point of view, but when I was a kid I didn't hate exterminators, you know. And even if it is from her point of view, it's still demeaning. That means that our character, the one we're supposed to be caring about, thinks that exterminators are terrible people or a terrible job or don't make enough or something. And that's just really demeaning, no matter how you put it. You know, exterminators is a cool job, you know. You got Dale from King of the Hill and he really enjoys his job. You know, exterminators are cool. I wouldn't mind being an exterminator. That'd be really cool, you know, just laying down the rat poison, getting that gas out. And pays decently, as far as I know. I didn't really research that, but you know, it's not about the actual pay you get. It's about actually enjoying the job, and you know, I would enjoy that. I'm sure that a lot of people do. I'm sure a lot of exterminators do. So yeah. And personally, I find cleaning fun. You know, janitors are always like seen as, oh, they have to do this job. I'm scruffy and I hate my job. I don't know. You know, I actually like being a janitor as well. You know, it's just cleaning, and cleaning I do find fun. At times, it must sound weird, but you know, someone has to do it. So just insulting these professions is really low for the writing team. Again, I would have seen who wrote this episode, but and I keep saying Megan McCarthy because of certain things that she's done in the past. My brain automatically says it's her. Yeah. Oh, and here we go. Yeah, overall, do not insult something like that. It's really demeaning. Scootaloo's Nightmare episode. Going to discuss this because it's a way better episode. They kind of stole from it, and they did a really half-assed job of it. So yeah, Scootaloo's Nightmare episode was better because one, it used the actual visuals for fear, and it didn't, you know, pretend to be real. You know, where it was so obvious that it actually wasn't a nightmare. I mean, you know, the headless horse chase scenes. You know, and that's what it was. You know, with Plays with Revenge, you know, we could still understand the fear, and that's how they could generate that much, you know, these negative visuals, like that forest, you know, just how you could get. It didn't look like an actual forest, you know. They could do that just because it was a nightmare. But, yeah, like Rogash, you know, I'm not Tommy. You know, like Rogash, you know, the nightmares were short, but they had, you know, a huge purpose. You know, they showed what she was scared of. They showed that she was having a hard time, what she was trying to put up with on this. It's like the nightmares represent something. It's like the nightmares represent stress that's building and building up, you know, and that's represented by, you know, how the effect takes on is her tiredness, you know, because stress can do that. I personally haven't had a nightmare related to stress, but I can understand loss of sleep due to stress, so maybe there's a link there. Very smart, I do say so myself. Compared to this episode. And if the entire episode is going to be one long nightmare, then you need to play with visuals more, you know, like Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland, whether you want to admit it or not, is one big dream that Alice has. If you're going by the Disney standard, the book, I'm not so sure about, but, you know, Alice in Wonderland, you know, it plays with visuals like crazy, you know, messes around with things, just plays with the madness. And even though this episode does that, at one point, it's way too mean-spirited, you know. This should have taken personal life. If they wanted to make the entire episode one long nightmare, again, just take notes from Alice in Wonderland. You can still have that stupid lesson at the end. I mean, It's not going to be any less powerful if you do this stupid... Yeah, they should have done that. They really should have done something like that. And that's a little hint to other writers out there if you're planning something like that. You know, or have us, you know, sucked into believing that the dream is or was real. You know, have us believe that it's going on. So then at the end it's like, oof, man. Because that's the... In real life, you know, that's the biggest part of a nightmare or a dream. Waking up like, oh, it was all a dream. Or, oh, thank goodness it was all a nightmare. You know, that's the whole point of it, really, at the end. And if we, the entire time, you know, if we know it's a dream or a nightmare, then we're not going to care about what's going on. You know, like when Apple Bloom is so scared, she's so frightened, like, oh, I'm going to get kicked out, or, oh, this is going to happen. You know, we know it's a dream, we know it's not real, so we really don't care. So there's no point in putting her in these situations at all. Really no point. Really no... Again, they just ruined the whole nightmare dream aspect of a episode, or writing, story, whatever you want to say, go for angle. And on to more nitpicking notes. Twitter mites. You know, the more they spread, the more damage they do, lightning, but... Yeah, Twitter mites. If you don't get it, let's just... say that... I'm just going to say right now that it does date this episode... a lot, and just to give you a clue for those who are a bit slow on this, and just to prove my point of what it actually, because people are probably like, oh, it doesn't do the episode, I'm sure Twitter will be around for a long while. Well, you know what this is? No, it's nothing, just my space cannon. Yeah, put that in your head. Oh, that was a weird line.
Put that in your head and play around with it.
Yeah, the creature in the shadows, I do admire the idea that they had in the sense of, you know, only Apple Bloom is doing this. You know, she's doing this herself. You know, like the shadows from Persona 4. You know, it is a part of her. I can't remember who had that idea of, you know, your it and your ego, and your it being your shadow in this sense. Yeah, maybe the writers did watch Persona 4 and just got the whole idea from that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Or Persona 2, the shadows were in there as well. God, I need to stop going on. I need to slap myself every time I say, Yeah, but I wish she would actually confront it. You know, like how Scootaloo confronted her fears. Because that's what I hated at the end of the episode. It's just like, Luna comes out and just goes, oh, hey, that's your shadow. It is? Yep. Come on, I gotta wake you up now. Come on, I got other people to wake up. Come on, move. You know, it's like Luna just waves a magic wand and fixes everything. I know a good thing you wanted to do, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. You know, but Scootaloo was way better. You know, like Luna said, you know, Scootaloo, if you want this stuff to end, you're going to have to confront it yourself. You're going to have to overcome your own fears. You know, I like that better. This was just terrible. Oh, so much terrible. You get an F! Here you go, parents! There we go, let's put me in a better mood. Sorry, I'm getting into the negativity now.
That Gula is calling me.
Yeah, the more things I hate, and if it's gonna be like Groundhog Day, you know, like when Apple Bloom wakes up, breakfast ready, breakfast ready. I wish they could have made a little hint of reference. That would have put me in a good, better mood. You know, like how, you know, the good comedy from Castle Sweet Castle was like, I love it. You know, I gave him a better rating. You know, like, let's... I don't know. I haven't watched Groundhog Day that much. I need to watch it again. I've only watched it like twice in the past 3 years. Yeah, a little hint like that would have been nice. Really nice. Yeah, please, writers, don't ever again, because I even saw some people in the comments mad about this as well, even some forums, you know, what I'd like to call Science Bloom, you know, when Apple Bloom gets her potion-making kingdom mark, and they don't expand upon that. You know, they showed the stupid Exterminator one, they showed the eventually the blue one, but, you know, they should have, if they're going to tease us like that, because that's the path I want Apple Bloom to go down. I want her to actually become a potion maker. You know, she makes special apples that can do this. When you bite this apple, you become huge. You know, that seems like a really cool, huge episode to do. You know, basically around that. You don't need to have a moral for every episode, writers. You don't need it. And if Hasbro making you,
then grow a pair and tell them that good writing doesn't need to come from morals, Lord Vader.
Oh, and singing Sweetie Belle. About to sing, you know, because that's what I wanted to do as well. She's a good singer. I wanted to pursue that, you know. Maybe she'd be up on there with, Sapphire Shores. That'd be really cool, but no, they had to tease us with it. And of course, Daredevil Scootaloo, probably my favourite. Had to tease us with that. Hey, we could have done this. We could have actually had them get their cutie marks. But no. Oh man, it physically hurt this morning when I watched that part. Really, really hurt. Make sure that no one tells me who wrote this episode or I will hunt them down. And I know that these are nightmares, but they are a bit far too mean-spirited, and there's no point. Like I said, we already know that this isn't Applejack, this isn't Granny Smith. We know that these actions aren't going to take much, so the point of making them mean-spirited is just ridiculous. No point to them at all, no point of making them mean-spirited. Nightmares should have, or should focus more on the fear itself than a stupid dialogue-based story, and the constant dialogue itself takes away from the surreal effect a nightmare should have. You could focus more on body language, like, girls, where you going? Oh, they have cutie marks. Have it, because I don't know if you've ever had a nightmare before, but guess what? There's no dialogue or script. And that's why, for certain nightmare sequences, the dialogue is very basic, or just so surreal itself that you can't believe it. I'm not Tommy, or, but Avatar, you've forgotten your underwear. You're gonna make it surreal or just silent, just... I'm trying to think of... What's coming to my mind is the Heffalump one. The Heffalump. That one didn't have any sense, and that's what it should be. It shouldn't have any actual sense to it, because it's a nightmare, except when it's driven by fear. When it's a nightmare driven purely on fear, like in Sleepless in Ponyville, it was, Scootaloo running away like hell just from this giant beast, and that's what she can focus on, because... Yeah, I've had those nightmares in the past before where you're running away from something. It does symbolize something. And yeah, when you actually do create that image in your head, and all you can focus on is running, so that's why it repeats itself. So yeah, either focus on one of those. If not, it might as well just take place in the real world, or you just create a really, really terrible nightmare episode like this one, or dream episode. And just another side note here, the animator is just too lazy to give Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo fake cutie marks. Like, you should just give Scootaloo a tire, or Sweetie Belle a bell, I don't know, something. They give him Apple Bloom like 5 in this episode. Or like in Cutie Pox where they gave her like 18 million. Give them some. It's Apple Bloom's, vision or her subconscious, so obviously she is going to create them in her head. And when Apple Bloom gets her blue cutie mark, they actually go in a decent direction. The good nightmare stuff happens. That heavy atmosphere. First it starts so easy with Applejack has her hat, and then she doesn't have her hat, and then she has her hat, and then she doesn't have her hat, and then Big Mac comes along, and he actually, his first line he's actually does a lot of talking, and then their voices start coming out of each other, and then Applejack's the one who just starts saying nope, yep. And, she just gets sucked away in this dark room, and then she gets sucked away into this vortex, And that's what it should be. It should be something surreal as that, something as dark and heavy as that confined small room that she's in. Stuff like that. That's what they should have aimed for in this episode. Just either really short ones like that in between living... And, they should have freaking done as well. They should have... That's another reason why you don't want a long nightmare, because you have nothing to compare it to. That's why in Scootaloo's Sleepless in Ponyville episode, she had nightmares, but then she came back, woke up in the real world, just not only have a comparison, but just show the effects of the nightmare itself upon a person. In this case, no. And Apple Bloom has to face her shadow. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. Okay, there we go. Just wanted to make that joke. She could have had something like that, instead of a shadow, like make a dark version of Scootaloo, like her actual shadow. I don't care, the ripping up Persona 4 is a good thing. It's a good thing to bring your story. Everything needs more Persona 4, like saying, or like the shadow saying different things like, but if we get this to the future happens.
If this happens, then you know what'll happen. It'll be dark and terrible.
And, maybe she gets some support from Luna, like, where's the support, like Scootaloo did, and Evelyn's been like, no, I know I gotta face the future, man, what happens, or something like that. Because I am trying to repress the stupid message they had. And here it comes. Oh. Sorry, after this. But yeah, I think the writer kind of forgot what they wrote in Act 1. You know, because Avalon is clearly scared about the future, not who she is. You know, that's what they said at the beginning, you know. Can you imagine what it would be like if you got a cutie mark that you didn't want, and now suddenly it's, oh, did you know it's an important part of you, and your cutie mark is part of you? No, that wasn't bothering her. It was about what a cutie mark she gets and how it's going to affect her, not who she is. And here we go. But I think the lesson is because they clearly don't say it out loud, and I think it's because they changed the script to the last second to go, whoops, this message is really stupid. That's kind of dense around it. Maybe they won't notice, but I saw it. Or I think I saw it. I caught a glimpse of it, took a picture, and it was really blurry, and I'm going to show you it. If the lesson really is what I think it is, and that's your job or your skills won't change who you are, that's really stupid. That's the stupidest moral this show has ever done. You know, what you do for a living, what you do with your life, you know, your hobby. That doesn't affect who you are as a person, or your personality, choices you make, whatever. You know, like me, I'm an animator, I'm a writer, I'm a kind of a director, but I'll be better in the future. I just don't have and voice actor, technically more of an impressionist than that. You know, that doesn't really affect who I am, you know. I just do those things because I like doing them. It doesn't affect me as a whole. I don't go, you know, as an animator, I'm going to stab myself in the foot. You know, it's just really stupid moral. And here we go, final thoughts. 27 minutes in, just because I spent so long talking about the freaking nightmare scenario. Oh, man. So yeah, terrible moral. It's far too mean-spirited and insulting to a lot of things. It's a poor man's Sleepless in Ponyville. I really see no reason why this had to exist this episode. You know, it felt hard to sit through. Nothing was absolutely achieved. You know, it kind of ends on a note like, we just sent her a care package because season 3. And it's just another Kunimara Crusaders tease episode. Like, you know, they could find out. Oh, and look, Sweetie Belle has a nightmare about it. And so does Scootaloo. No! Please. At least in season 5, I'm praying to the heavens above that they finally give the Crusaders their cutie marks. Finally, just please. They're love and everything. If not, they just feel like dead horses you just bring out every episode to beat. And that's not something to do. It's as horrible as I put it. And my final thought was how this episode should have gone, or how an episode like this should have been written. First off, I think this should have been based on Babseed, because, heck, if they're not going to give the cutie mark Crusaders their cutie marks, if they get Babseed her cutie mark, you know, show us Manhattan, you know, show us parts of it that Babseed lives in, show us the friends she has there, and how she's trying to change them, things that she's done, you know, because it's more relevant, and, you know, fear is something that has happened, rather than something that might happen, or a bit stronger. When I talk about this, I mean, like, Apple Bloom's scared of something that might happen, but, you know, when Babseed gets it, you know, maybe she's taught by some real bullies that, oh, you don't realize now that your life is over, you have to do all this, you have to do all that, you have to follow it, you're not a different person, and, yeah, that's more of a scary effect. I mean, think about it. It's like, I really don't want to. Imagine if you got something or an illness where you might die. What's worse? Having an illness that might kill you, or might getting the illness itself. So either having it and might dying, or being scared of might having the. Are you scared of catching it, or are you scared of its effects when you actually have it? Obviously, you're more scared when you have it, and the effects might take effect. You know. So yeah, I think I really hope I got my point across there, because it's a very important point. It's very important. So I really, like I mentioned before, you know, several nightmares that happen throughout, you know, that she can show the comparison, actually learn from them, instead of one long stupid, calm down, calm your tits. And even though it's difficult to pull a decent, you know, moral out of this scenario, I think they should have aimed for more of something along the lines of, everyone sometimes fears the same thing. You know, you have to help each other out to get through it, you know, instead of Luna, you know. Because like I said, like they showed at the end, but they didn't approach this, Apple Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo, sorry, I'm getting really out of it here. Yeah, the Crusaders, they should have, like I said at the end, you know, since we're all scared of it, we need to help each other out, we can talk through this, you know. remember we're having hard times, but you remember that we're there for each other. And, you know, Luna like this is a Hasma like, yes, and she turns to Vincent surprise. But I need to stop turning the characters into impressions. So overall, I'm gonna give this episode a 2 out of 10. If it weren't for the little nightmare thing with Big Mac and Applejack switching voices and switching hats, this would have been a 1 out of 10. But just because they put a little effort into that scene to make it an actual nightmare, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Absolute garbage. Hopefully this is the bottom of Season 5. Hopefully there's nothing worse along the way, but without anything else to say, thank you so much for watching. I just noticed that I didn't give my glasses any light. I guess I smashed them in the picture. But yeah, thank you for watching. Until next review, or until the next thing you see me in, this is Loma5, also known as Joker, saying bye-bye. Later.